front of that kind of atmosphere. I think our fans have been incredible this entire season, and got a chance to come out and see a lot of mid-year enrollees participate and compete in G-Day next week. So first thing I'm going to do is challenge people to do that. As far as today, I thought we had great weather. I was hoping that it would get up in the 80s, the mid-80s. I don't actually know what temperature ended up being, but it felt cool out there. And it's a good scrimmage, good spirited scrimmage. Probably had less. I don't think we had anybody injured, which is good. We need that because we've got some guys that have been down. Was a more balanced scrimmage. We tried to run the ball some more, thinking that we would test the defense, and I thought the defense had one of their better practices when it comes to being able to stop the run. And then the offense kind of dominated the third down period, and the defense had been dominating that. So it was almost a seesaw effect of some of the periods defense had been winning, the offense won, and vice versa. It's very competitive, and I thought the guys played really hard.
Was DeAndre Swift able to go today in the?
He went some during the warm-up, some during the 7-on-7 stuff, but didn't go in the scrimmage much. He's been practicing every day. I mean, he goes out there, he does pass pro, he does some routes, he does as much as he can do. He just hadn't been doing full live tackle.
Do you anticipate having him for G-Day?
I'm not sure yet.
Did Natrez show up after, I guess, we were out there?
Natrez had a funeral to go to, guys. And I think there's a large overreaction there. I mean, if you guys went a little overboard on that, you know. So I think the best thing is just to come in here and ask, and we'll fill you in. He got there 12 minutes after y'all left and scrimmaged the whole day.
Quarterbacks and receivers have a good day, Kirby.
I don't know what you call a good day. Third down was good. Probably weren't sufficient in some of the quick game, but we hit some big explosive plays. But overall, I thought it was very balanced. Like I said at the beginning, I mean, both guys did some good things at the quarterback position, and some of the wideouts continue to grow and develop. I think the biggest development you see in the wideouts is on the special teams. J.J. Holloman is a guy that has really come on in the special teams role. I mean, last year it was foreign to him. I don't think he'd ever really played it. And now he's like playing fast with confidence, playing on kickoff coverage, kickoff return. So he's really helped us in special teams role.
Speaking of kickoff, I don't know what the rule change is, what your initial reaction was to that, but how does it kind of change the way you guys do things with the new touchback rule?
I'm not going to change anything. I mean, we're going to prepare for it, and higher, shorter kicks will be fair called. Kicks we don't think we can get to the 25 will be better off fair catches. So a lot of it depends on what type kicker you're facing.
I know last year, Coach, every time we asked you about Matt Landers, you said he was kind of showing some things as a freshman. What's he shown now with this spring for you?
He's been battling a hand injury. He's got a thumb sprain that he's fought through. He has to wear a hard cast. He actually made a couple really good plays today. I mean, he's developing well. He's got to play with more toughness. I mean, he's a big target. He's a hard matchup guy for DBs. He made an explosive play today. He's just got to do it more consistently and take some ownership in his blocking assignments and his willingness to go down there and block. But I do think Matt is progressing and has gotten better.
Hey, follow up on Natrez. Have you said yet whether he'll play in the G-Day game or the first game of next season?
You guys are amazing, man. I mean, Natrez is working as hard as he can to do everything right and do everything we ask. We'll worry about that when the time comes. Right now, we're worried about practice on Tuesday with Natrez after today. Just like today, we were worried about today. Why do we have to worry about that? We're worried about what's important right now. And what's important right now is Natrez's growth and development, and he becomes a better man and a better person. We're trying to help him every way we can. So we're going to worry about practice Tuesday, not G-Day or the first game.
I'm just wondering about Mike, linebacker, now, who's playing,
Yeah, he's playing it. Monty plays it. Juwan plays it. Tae gets in there and plays it. Nate McBride plays it, and Jaden plays it. They all go in there and play. So you guys want to speculate, is he with the ones, is he with the twos, is he this? Guys, we're practicing everybody at linebacker. We're preparing to go forward so that we can develop all our young players. Just like when the two guys we signed get here, we're going to give them a lot of reps too.
Jarvis Wilson.
Yeah, he's dinged up. Jarvis has got a foot sprain from the last practice and was unable to scrimmage today. Don't know how long he'll be out.
Going back to the kickoffs, the main goal of the rule change is for player safety, but how dangerous do you think kickoffs are? Do you guys see a lot of injuries even in practice with the?
No, we practice it safe. It's a dangerous play. I mean, you track kickoffs they'll tell you, the rules committee, that's why they do what they do. They have like statistics on it. They keep it. I mean, it's a long-term. Concussions are a little bit higher. There's a little more injury there, so they're trying to make the game safer. We don't go down and practice kickoff full speed live ever. I mean, it's dangerous because you got guys running 40 yards into each other. So we don't ever do that. But you know, as far as the rule, if they say that it's safer, then I'm obviously in support of safety. I mean, I think anything you can do to make players safer, it's a wise decision. How it'll be implemented and how you'll use it, that'll be interesting because there's no kid that's ever sat back there on kickoff and waved fair catch on the 1 yard line. He's going to have to make that decision now.
Kirby, have you thought that, does it, you guys had a weapon with Rodrigo booting into the end zone, does it kind of minimize him to a certain extent if teams can get touchbacks if the ball's at the 10, or I don't know?
It could minimize the value of a good kicker. I would not disagree with that because I think if your kicker kicks a 4.4 hang to the 5 yard line, that's a huge weapon because you couldn't fair catch it. But you've also got to assume that that guy catching the ball knew what that hang was. And I would argue the average kick returner doesn't know what the hang of the kick was. He's going to have to figure out, can I catch this ball and know where this coverage team is on me? So that comes in repetition. So we've started telling our guy what the hang time is every time so he can say, hey, I know if it's 4-3 or higher, I probably need to fair catch this. But it could take the weapon away. But I mean, Rodrigo, we never told Rodrigo kick it high and short. We told him to kick it out of the end zone. And that's what we wanted him to do.
Some of the tight ends of Joe with Coach Chaney, their position coach now, they might get the ball a little more. Is that in the 2 scrimmages so far? Is it still a case of a talented wide receiver course going to take what's there, you know? Or have you seen them catching the ball?
I am so tired of the tight end questions. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they caught it more or less. The end line for me is, how many points do we score? To me, when they chart you on offense, they say, how many points do you score? So if they give us like 14 points for Isaac Nod to catch a touchdown, we'll start throwing it to him more. If we get 21 points for Charlie to catch one, I promise you we'll design a play to get a 21-point play. But right now, we're just trying to score points. And if that includes tight ends, that's great. Do I think our tight ends have caught more balls this spring? Probably so, because we've thrown the ball more. We've thrown the ball more this spring than we have in the past. But tight ends have to be a matchup disaster. Charlie had a big catch today. Isaac Nada had a big catch today. So I don't know if they're being targeted more or if they're getting open more. But a lot of it has to do with what that GPS number is, which is how fast they're running.
Kirby, when you talked about the outside linebackers the other day, I was going back through that quote, and you talked about, you know, bringing in more, you know, talent at that position, continuing to recruit it heavy. Is, you know, part of the process, is that, you know, a big part of it is constantly bringing in that talent so that the kind of the motivation and the commitment and those things that you've talked about, some places accountability, kind of taking care of itself. Is that what you were kind of meaning when you said that?
No, I was thinking about the 2 guys we got leaving, Keyon and DeAndre Walker, replacing. So when you have 2 leave, last I checked, you better be bringing 2 more in. And those guys are dominant special teams players. DeAndre Walker, for 3 years before I got here, has been a dominant kickoff coverage guy. Keyon hasn't been dominant, but he's been a very integral role. So if you got big, fast people, which are outside backers, I'm volunteering for those guys because nobody wants to block them. And on punt return, they hold people up better than anybody else. So I'm all about special team snaps. 3rd down is the most critical down of defense there is. So if you can get people in 3rd, 6, or 7 or more and put some really fast pass rushers on the field, I'm all for that. I'll play 6 outside backers if we have to. So I just want to recruit really good football players that can rush the passer and play special teams. Now, that's not to say that we don't need D linemen. We need that too, bad. But those guys are anchor guys that don't probably play as many snaps. That's the other guys.
How many D linemen would you like to sign in the starting class?
And yes, I can. It's going to depend on our total number. 4, you know, as many as we can, because we're at a deficit at that position.
Back to Keyon, the outside linebacker. What more is he kind of showing you right now? Because we're seeing him also out of the, you know, first two groups a lot.
Yeah, he's in the first 2 groups because 2 of the guys are really freshmen.
Yeah.
So they're out there learning and competing. Keyon has played with more effort this spring than he has in the past. He knows what to do now, so he understands the defense, and he's helping on special teams. He's a specialty player that can set an edge or rush the passer. He's been working hard for 4 years to get his turn, and this is his turn.
On Thursday, you said you've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad out of Richard LeConte. How do you look up there today?
He did better. maybe you guys help him get better.
When you talk about the mid-year guys that the fans can see, what have you seen with them in 11 practices in particular? Any of the 3 or 4 of them that maybe seem ahead of the others?
It's hard to say. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say any one of them's been awesome or any one of them's been poor. I am proud of each one of them because I think it's one of the hardest things to do. It's different when you come in with 20 guys in the fall and you can go commiserate back at the dorm and you can talk to each other and lick each other's wounds and pat each other on the back. These guys are on a, you know, they've been embraced by the rest of our team, but they're by themselves. They're out there going against big league, fast people, and none of them really stick out as being out of place. So, I mean, Divide obviously is injured, not getting to go. Zamir, we all know the story there. So besides those two, those other guys are out there competing. It's just like they've been here. You know, I mean, the 3 offensive linemen, they go with the twos and the threes. They get reps. They compete. They block people. Brenton Cox, he gets to go with the ones every now and then in pass rush, and he's learning what to do. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have gotten better and helped us, and I think it was really critical to get those guys in, considering what we lost.
2 more questions?
When you look back at that move, I guess it was about 2 years ago when you guys moved Tae Crowder to the defensive side of the ball. How much has he grown, and what are you seeing out of him this spring in terms of, you know, competing for the inside linebacker spot?
He's come a long way, and he's still not there. It just tells you how far he had to go. I mean, I've known Tae as long as I've known Terry and those guys. They all came over to Alabama camp from the west side of Georgia for a long time. I've known Tae since he was 8th, 9th grade and was a receiver. He's gotten more contact tough. He enjoys contact. He's an extremely good athlete for a big man. I mean, he's got one of the largest wingspans on our team, but he's still, I mean, you miss all those years of playing linebacker and seeing things naturally, but he's growing. I'm glad we made the move because he's come so far, but he's still got to keep continuing to get better. I mean, that's the position that at inside backer that we have no dominant player. We have no clear head and shoulders above the rest linebacker guy, so it's like, we want somebody to stick out. We want there to be a alpha male that kind of leads the whole defense and dominates, but that hasn't happened yet. But Tae has been improving every day.
Kirby, do you get to watch any of your opponent's spring games? I know there's some going on today, and or is it just so vanilla in them games y'all can't pick up too much, I guess, about new personnel you can see? But
No, we watch them. I mean, we watch them. We have them broke down. We get them off the TV, and we break them down and look at them in the off season and go through them. And most people are vanilla, but it's still good information. You still get to watch and get to see it. I've always done that. I think it helps, especially if you play them early in the year. Thanks, guys.